Even though women have been around since the beginning of time and have done great things since the dawn of civilization, their contributions to history are often overlooked or forgotten. Hi everyone. Today we're going to look at 8 women who changed history but were erased. Be sure to watch until the end to learn about all of these amazing women whose legacies have been lost to time. And be sure to stick around after the video for even more awesome history content. Before we get into it, please remember to like this video and subscribe so you never miss an awesome video. Let's jump in with No. 8. Queen Liliuokalani. Born in 1838, Liliuokalani was the last monarch of the Hawaiian Islands. When she came to power in 1891, she wanted to create a constitution that would protect the rights of Native Hawaiians and prevent white business owners from exploiting them. Naturally, this upset many white business owners, politicians, and missionaries who felt threatened by her progressive ideas. They joined together, staged a coup, and forced her to abdicate the throne. The following year, the Republic of Hawaii was officially annexed by the United States. Liliuokalani spent the last years of her life fighting for the restoration of the monarchy. However, her efforts were in vain, and she died in 1917 without ever seeing the Hawaiian monarchy restored. Despite her tragic story, Liliuokalani is remembered as a symbol of hope for many Native Hawaiians and a reminder of the importance of protecting indigenous rights. She once said, "Our ancestors never went to war except when their homes and lands were invaded by a foreign foe. Their blood is in my veins, and I shall do my best to follow their example." No. 7. Madame de Pompadour. Born Jean Antoinette Poisson in 1721, Madame de Pompadour became one of King Louis XV's mistresses and had an enormous influence on the French monarchy during the mid-18th century. Although her relationship with the king was purely extramarital, he appointed her to influential positions, such as the Mistress of the Robes and Governor of the province of Champagne. She used her new position to secure her financial future and also to help further the careers of those close to her. While some criticized her for her questionable rise to prominence, there's no denying that she had a significant impact on French society during her lifetime. For example, she was a patron of the arts and sciences and helped to promote the careers of many artists and intellectuals. Additionally, she played an important role in shaping French fashion and set several trends that were emulated by the nobility. Unfortunately, she was ultimately unsuccessful in securing a higher place in the royal court and died in 1764 without achieving her ultimate goal of becoming the king's official wife. Number 6. Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut is considered one of the most successful pharaohs in ancient Egyptian history. She ruled over Egypt from 1508 to 1458 BC and is known for her impressive building projects, including the temple complex at Deir el-Bahari. But despite her many accomplishments, her legacy has been largely erased from history. During the New Kingdom, male pharaohs attempted to erase all records of her reign, leading to the destruction of many monuments and the removal of her name from historical texts. As a result, very little was known about Hatshepsut until the 19th century when her mortuary temple was rediscovered. Despite the attempts to erase her legacy, Hatshepsut's accomplishments as a pharaoh have earned her a place in history. Her reign marked a period of peace and prosperity for Egypt, and she is remembered as one of the greatest rulers of the ancient world. Number 5. Empress Matilda. Empress Matilda was the daughter of King Henry I of England and the first woman to be named the sole heir to the English throne. After her father's death in 1135, she became the Queen Consort of England and began ruling the kingdom in her own right. However, her cousin Stephen of Blois seized the throne and launched a civil war against her. The conflict lasted for 19 years and resulted in widespread devastation across England. Eventually, the throne was offered to Matilda's son, Henry II, in 1154, ending the Civil War and establishing the Plantagenet dynasty. Throughout her life, Matilda faced numerous challenges and setbacks, but she never gave up her fight for the throne. Ultimately, her legacy as the first woman to rule England in her own right paved the way for future generations of female leaders. No. 4. Deborah Sampson. Deborah Sampson was an American woman who disguised herself as a man and served in the Continental Army during the American Revolutionary War. She enlisted in 1782 under the name Robert Shirtliff and served for over a year before being discharged due to injuries sustained in battle. During her time in the Army, she participated in several important battles, including the Siege of Yorktown, where she witnessed British General Charles Cornwallis surrender to American and French forces. After the war, she returned to civilian life and married a fellow veteran. She then embarked on a tour of the country, performing as an actress and telling the story of her experiences in the military. In 1802, she published a book detailing her adventures, which became an instant success. Her story inspired other women to join the military, and she became a symbol of the growing movement for women's rights. Sadly, she passed away in 1827, but her legacy continues to inspire people today. No. 3. Queen Isabella of Spain. Isabella of Castile and Ferdinand of Aragon were married in 1469, uniting two of the most powerful Christian kingdoms in Spain. Together, they formed a formidable ruling dynasty and led the Reconquista, a centuries-long effort to reclaim the Iberian Peninsula from Muslim rule. By 1492, they had successfully conquered Granada, the last Muslim stronghold in Spain. This victory marked the end of the Reconquista and the beginning of Spain as golden age as a world power. Isabella and Ferdinand's reign also saw the beginning of Spanish exploration and conquest in the Americas. They sponsored the voyages of Christopher Columbus, who was credited with reaching the Americas in 1492. These voyages opened up new opportunities for trade, wealth, and power, and helped to establish Spain as a global empire. Unfortunately, their legacy has been tarnished by their persecution of Jews and Muslims. They enacted harsh laws that expelled non-Christians from Spain and confiscated their property. This persecution resulted in the loss of valuable talent and contributions to Spanish society and culture. No. 2. Queen Zingambandi. Queen Zingambandi of Andongo and Matamba was an African warrior queen who fought against Portuguese colonization in Angola. She was born in 1583 and became queen in 1624. During her reign, she led her people in a series of successful military campaigns against the Portuguese, demonstrating great courage and military prowess. She was known for her strategic brilliance and her ability to unite different groups in the region to resist the Portuguese. Despite facing overwhelming odds, she never gave up the fight for her people's freedom. Her efforts had some success, but ultimately she was unable to stop the Portuguese from colonizing her land. However, she is still remembered as a symbol of resistance against colonialism and oppression. Her story has inspired generations of Africans to fight for their independence and freedom. And finally, No. 1. Boudica. Boudica was a Celtic queen who led a revolt against Roman rule in Britain in the 1st century AD. According to legend, she was the wife of Prasutagus, the king of the Iceni tribe, and became queen after his death. When Rome found out that Prasutagus had left his entire estate to his wife and children in his will, they ignored the will and took the property for themselves. Outraged by this injustice, Boudica led a rebellion against the Romans, gathering warriors from various tribes across Britain. She and her army went on a rampage, burning Roman settlements and killing their citizens. The revolt continued for several years, but eventually it was crushed by the Roman army. Not much is known about Boudica, as most accounts of her life come from Roman sources who portrayed her as a barbaric and uncivilized woman. However, she has become a symbol of resistance against oppression and tyranny. Her legacy continues to live on in modern-day Britain, and she is celebrated as a heroine of the nation. If you enjoyed learning about these amazing women, let us know in the comments below. We hope you learned something new and were inspired by their stories. Thanks for watching.